Right, let's move on to our penultimate game. Which let's go to Easter Road, shall we? For Hibs 1, Kilmarnock 0. Jake, I'll just hand over to you for this one.
Not a good game, first and foremost, but I'm starting to worry not about our away form, because the away form was bad last season because we played badly away from home. The first few games of this season, we didn't play badly away from home. We probably should have beat Dundee. We were the better team against Motherwell. We played very well against Hearts in a 0-0 draw. There have been some bad ones in amongst that. But as soon as I heard Derek McInnes, I think it was post-match in the game last week against Motherwell, post-match, he was like, we might have to change our style to go away from home. And I was like, Derek, you could have done that last season and I would have agreed with you. But this season, just keep doing what you're doing. We're a good team. We don't need to change our style away from home. If we keep playing the way we've played, I think we'll win an all right number of away matches. Because I think, again, you say stick to your principles. I think Killer are a good team this season. I think we've got a strong case for the top six. But sticking 4 centre backs along the line worked against Motherwell surprisingly well. So that's okay to stick with that. But then to have 5 centre mids in the team as well, it was just it was a team that was set up to just turn it into a shit fest, and I don't think we needed to do that against a fragile Hibs team. Yes, you're without Kyle Vassell, but we won games without him before, and Matty Kennedy didn't have the best game against Motherwell, but he's still a live wire, and just stick with your 2 wingers, because then it comes down to, we didn't have enough creativity. Well, why the fuck was that? Because they've got no creative players on the park. Where do you think it's going to come from? But it's just these things that annoy me, because I think that squad, just anyone. I mean, Liam Donnelly ideally, because I don't know why he got a contract. He's just a wee bit off it. If Brad Lyons and Brad Lyons has surprised me this season is an upgrade on you, then you are by definition not good enough for this level. But he came into the team and was hooked at halftime for Kennedy, and then Kelly just had more of the game from that point on. Yes, we're 1-0 down at that point. I stretch to say we should have got a point, but we were certainly the in the ascendancy, because Hibs, naturally given their history of chucking away leads recently, kind of camped in. We had a very good chance from McKenzie at the end.
Yeah, I think the crowd turned a bit on Hibs in the last 20 minutes because of just what's been happening recently with Hibs, and they just got naturally nervous and got kind of that nervousness then kind of manifested itself into frustration, which they took out in the team, and there's still a lot of question marks over Nick Montgomery's use of subs, and in particular, loving to chuck on.
Well, it's like Lloyd Stevenson came on in stoppage time here. It's like, you did not need to do that.
But at least this time he didn't just chuck on young players when either defending a lead or trying to get a goal.
Yeah, but I think it was a bit of a blow because Innes Cameron got injured in the warm up, or they couldn't play, and that meant we didn't have that physical option to come off the bench that might have made a difference at the end. But talking that, Kelly probably didn't quite do enough in this game, but I just worry that he'll keep doing that rather than just saying, do you know what, we've got it in us, we'll win games eventually. It's like you have to have the mentality that, yeah, you've got that monkey on your back, but we won games last season, we will win away games this season. Just keep playing and they'll come. And it feels like it's been overthought. From a Hibs point of view, they were all right, but they weren't the attacking team that I think we've seen, the kind of swashbuckling team, partly probably because of what they were playing against, I suppose. But definitely Campbell makes a difference in terms of just having that energy. I quite like him as a player. He's quite limited as a footballer, but his energy is quite infectious on the rest of the team, I think. And he's obviously the one that gets the goal, but he just creates a wee bit of space. I think he's a wee bit smart. He creates a bit of space for Boyle and others. Tavares is starting to look like he might have a future at the club as well. And that was kind of a constant threat of those two in the wider areas, because Campbell does more than some other players in terms of just his movement.
It was quite a good role for Campbell because it meant that he wasn't really involved in the build-up as much. And that might seem a bit harsh to him because he did play some decent passes in the game as well, but Campbell's passes are always passes when the game's in front of him in the final third. It's when he has to be in the middle of the park and he has to have his wits about him and he has to be quick on the turn and swivel and buzzwords like that. that he struggles because that's just, we saw it under Maloney when he was like, Sean Maloney's tactic was to give him the ball as number 6 where he's facing his own goal, and the only thing Josh Campbell would do would give it right back to the defender again or give it away. But when he's further forward, he can use that energy, and he is quite sprightly around the final third. And I think it's still a bit of concern that he only just seems to ever want to play 4-4-2. Especially because he doesn't really have the centre midfielders to do it at this point in time. And as it's been mentioned on other shows, he might not get that because properly play a 4-4-2 for a team in the Scottish top flight that's going to finish third, you need some very, very good players in there. They may have one in Joe Newell, and he's been excellent this season, but to find another one, that's a bit difficult because him and Levitt...
I think the problem with Newell is you don't know which type of player to pair him with because he's in between. He's kind of a mix of both of the types of midfielders you want in a two.
That's true, yeah.
Because like, do you play him with Jago or like a Jago, better Jago, like a Brad Lyons type midfielder? But he's maybe not quite good enough as an attacker to cope with that. And if you play him with a Levitt, he's maybe not quite a good enough defender. So he is maybe a wee bit caught between stools there, but yeah, a good player he certainly is.
But he did make an adjustment in terms of playing Martin Boyle through the middle, and I think that's maybe the first time he's done that, Montgomery, that he's either played Boyle or Ewan through the middle, because I said that after Tuesday's game. I couldn't believe that when they're trying to short the lead, instead of putting Ewan up front, he brings on a youngster up front instead. Like, just stick Ewan up front. Like, Ewan's possibly even better up front than he is out wide. Like, you're seeing it a game. This is a perfect opportunity for him to use his pace and running ability to run at the opposing defence, and yet you've got him starting out wide. Played Boyle up front, and that worked quite well because Boyle was able to stretch Kelly, and also as well, it kind of meant that there was, and this is something I've seen off of Hibs quite a bit this season, to be fair, is the interchanging between Campbell and Boyle was something that you've seen at bits as well, but it was just a bit more natural because Boyle's used to kind of going out there and staying out there, and so that made it a bit more fluid. One thing Hibs, well, they're still struggling to score goals, and also Dylan Vente looked a bit out of sorts.
I think he's not a player who necessarily involves himself in games that much. He's a finisher. That's my take on him. I've not seen loads of him, but his quality in front of goal is very good. Generally, like he seems to me like he's a very, very good finisher, but he maybe doesn't get involved in the rest of the play as much as you would like. So that's okay, again, if you've got the rest of the parts of that team, but it does mean they can be a man down at times, like certain attacks at least.